So we were thrilled to hear from the president, the vice president, and numerous members of his cabinet who really reinforced that partnership and collaboration with the states, which will respectively help the people that we serve. And so we can't thank the president and the vice president any more than repeating that again. Specifically, though, a number of us have been meeting both with the president, not only today, Governor Rick Scott, who's the vice chair of the Republican Governors Association. I happen to be the chair this year. The two of us met with the president for lunch the other day. A number of us here met with the vice president and Secretary Price to talk about what the next steps are. But before we talk about anything in that regard, obviously out of deference to the president's State of the Union, we're going to let him lay out the beginning of the details, but we wanted to reinforce things. First off, let's be clear, Obamacare is a failure. And it was reiterated again today. Mark Dayton, the governor from my neighboring state, Minnesota, said late last year that the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. Heck, Bill Clinton said it's the craziest thing. This thing is a mess. We know from the questions we heard today that if we do nothing, and as was noted politically for Republicans, maybe it would be great if we did nothing, because over the next 2 years, people would lose coverage because Obamacare is falling apart, because insurers are pulling out and giving up. And that's why we see rates like we saw in my neighboring state, Minnesota, premiums going up 67%, and people losing access to coverage because people are coming out of the market because of the failure of Obamacare. So one of the things you all in the media need to do better on is pointing out that if nothing happens, problems happen for people in this country and in our states. So what we're here to do is to partner with the president, the vice president, this administration, and the Congress, because we don't want to do what may be politically expedient, and that is to just prove it by letting things sit and showing the failure of Obamacare. No, instead, as governors, we're glad to hear a president who's willing to fix it, despite whether it be politically advantageous or not to, but to fix things so that what we replace is really about replacing things in a way that ensure that we've got access to affordable health care options for all of our citizens in our states and across the country. And that along with that, we actually reform things. You know, we have ability, many of our states already have stepped up to put in place reforms. We can empower reforms all across America that don't just talk about access to quality, affordable health care, but go even further, particularly when it comes to things like Medicaid, and that is empowering the states to help people transition from government dependence to true independence through the dignity that comes from work. And as governors, we are committed to doing that, and we are so happy to have a president and a vice president that's willing to collaborate with us, to partner with us, and who most importantly, and I think we'll start to hear it tomorrow night, will start laying out how he understands, as we do, that many people are scared because of what's happening with Obamacare. They need our compassion now more than ever to recognize that we hear their concerns and that we're going to fix the problems of Obamacare, and we're going to lay out a path going forward that ensures that that people have the choices that they want, not that the government wants when it comes to health care. And so we're pleased to be here with the president today. We'll defer to his State of the Union later in the week. We'll be laying out some of the things that we hope for out of that, but we, in deference to the President of the United States, want to give him a chance to lay out the details of where he'd like to see things head. And then later this week, we'll be laying out some of the specifics that we've been talking with him and his administration about.